Go back to what we saw Thursday in Motown. Lions had won 14 straight following a loss, and they were ready to go at it against the red-hot Cowboys. And early in the game, Teddy, just look at the f***ing game of David Montgomery.
Yeah, and just the lack of substance for the Dallas Cowboy defense on this day. They got ran through.
On the other side of it, George Pickens had a very quiet game. CeeDee Lamb was hot, then he left with a concussion. And Randy, George Pickens just wasn't able to pick up the slack.
Man, after that interception right there, tips and overthrows.
Gotta get those.
Man, I was shaking my head the rest of the second half. George, this is unlike you, my man.
And then you got Jahmyr Gibbs, who in the eyes of many right now might be the best running back in the National Football League. And he showed you why, Alex. 3 touchdowns on this night for the Lions.
Yeah, if he's not the best, he's definitely the most explosive. This guy is an unbelievable talent. You can see him here running through the tackles. 3 touchdowns on the night. This guy was a difference maker.
Critical win for the Lions, one they desperately needed. Terrible loss for the Cowboys. So Detroit is 8-5. They have a 59% chance of making the playoffs. Cowboys at 500 with 4 weeks to play. Their chances of making the playoffs fall to just 7%, according to our analytics. The biggest storyline coming out of that game, the thing that I think has caused the most conversation, has been the performance of George Pickens. And Randy, there's no one people want to hear from more than you. What did you see?
You know, I seen nothing. Definitely in the second half when CeeDee Lamb, went out the game. One thing, I've been praising George Pickens all this season, even when CeeDee was hurt for those couple of weeks. But one thing, going off what I saw the other night, and I was talking about, contract year, this man, pay him his money. But I just seen a guy that was disinterested in whatever was going on offensively with them, Schottenheimer and Dak Prescott. But if there's any play that really stands out to me, as you can see him here running, what is this, a curl or a dig? I was sitting up here shaking my head. You heard me say a few minutes ago, and this is the play right here where I did not understand. I was talking to Shefty. Maybe the ball was underthrown. No. As a wide receiver, if the quarterback is getting it out of your hands, we have to catch the ball. And that's right there, just seeing a man that was just disinterested in the game. Look, throughout my career, I've had games like that, but throughout the course of 4 quarters, you have to be able to show up. So I don't know where the Dallas Cowboys go from here, but one thing about it, hey, George Pickens, this is your year. If you want to get paid and be looked at as one of the elite receivers, hey, my man, the next time we see him on the football field, we need to see a better
especially if CD goes down. I mean, it's his time.
It is, but listen, I thought the bigger question for Dallas a little bit for me is when they get away from Dallas, right? This team has struggled on the road. They've only won 2 games. They love playing in Jerry's world. They love playing with that star in the middle of the field. And their energy level as a team looked down, I thought, and it's kind of been the case the entire year. But for me, listen, I went back and watched every snap of this to George Pickens. Honestly, I think we're making a lot out of nothing. This guy got doubled all game. And when I mean double, I mean cloud. A corner hard inside at the line of scrimmage, safety over the top. Randy used to see this all the time back in the day. CeeDee Lamb, there's a reason he got so many targets in that first half. There was no help with him. It was man-to-man with no help for him all day. There's a reason Ryan Flournoy got all those targets in the second half. Because, again, George Pickens was taking 2. We saw it on the interceptions. Corner sitting hard inside. He's trying to run slant, right? How many times have we seen him win on those?
I can't believe my quarterback is sitting up here making
so
big
is that all we have to do defensively? Is cloud up on you and have a safety over the top, and he's not going to go hard?
Listen, there were a couple plays that were funny and weird scenarios. The fade where it was like 3rd and forever, and again we threw the ball, Dak threw it out in the back of the end zone. But this guy got everybody else open, is what I'm saying, right? Like we only looked at his targets and catches and numbers, but listen, this guy got everybody open. He's running posts, taking 2, and they're hitting deep crosses under it. Like
real quick, two weeks ago, They made a living out of slants, okay? Yep. And one thing that I said in last week's show, if you want to be able to stop the Dallas Cowboys in that short down and distance, you have to be able to stop the slant because George Pickens is running against man, zone, and 2-man. One thing about it, when they called upon George Pickens to be the man, Alex, that's all I'm saying. No CeeDee Lamb. Flournoy, yes, he's having a heck of a second half, but when they counted on him, that ball was clearly hitting him. That deflect on that slant, yep. That was him, his inability of not catching the ball. So, yes, it looks bad on a guy like George Pickens because it's contract year. All I want to know is the next time we see the Dallas Cowboys, what type of George Pickens are we going to see?
And then, Rex, there's the other question, and that is that Dallas defense that you were so critical of for so much of the season. They looked better a few weeks in a row. They really struggled on Thursday night.
Yeah, and Greeny, quite honestly, all they have to do is look at the defense. Why is the Dallas Cowboys not going to make the playoffs? It's because of their defense. They've been absolutely atrocious for most of the season. Again, it raised its ugly head again Thursday when Detroit exposed them. And to me, that's what it's about. They have a lot of good individual players on that defense, but they don't play as a unit. And that's what I'm seeing. Teams that really know what they're doing offensively can expose them, and you see it on the ground, and you also see it in play design. They don't pass things off coverage-wise. So to me, that's it. And not only are they keeping this Dallas Cowboy team out of the playoffs this year, they're also keeping them from a potential Super Bowl. That's what's lacking with this team. If they had a defense anywhere, an average defense can help put this team into a Super Bowl. That's how good their offense is. That offense in the game, how good were they against Detroit? They had 450 yards against Detroit when CeeDee Lamb also only played a half. So Pickens, yeah, he had that struggles and all that type of stuff, but this offense is still potent, and it's unfortunate you're not going to see him in the playoffs.
Shefty, final word.
They still have a chance here to make a run. The schedule still sets up for them to make a push. Their margin of error is gone. They're going to have to win out, but the schedule sets up for them to win out, and it's up to that defense that Rex is talking about and George Pickens to step up in the final 4 games for one final push.
Just asking a team that hasn't been consistent all year to put together a streak that we haven't seen them put on.
But the next 2 are in Dallas, so they should win at home twice and take some momentum into the last 2 winnable games of the season on the road.
We're still talking
the
the Dallas
division
Cowboys
Commanders and
here.
Giants.
I know.
Again, you see the number on your screen. Our analytics say they have a 7% chance to make it. They've got to win out. They're going to need a bunch of help. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, we're talking about the NFL playoffs. We're getting ready for the college football playoff. After Josh and company in front of these fans on a snowy day in Buffalo, Bengals and Bills, one of the monster games on today's schedule. We're getting you ready for those. And then at noon Eastern today, again, all will be revealed. The college football playoff selection show right here on ESPN. You know what the pressure points are. Bama, the ACC, Notre Dame and Miami. We will finally get all of those answers. And speaking of answers, we're doing something a little different. He starts, the Bengals win. They're 3-0. I'm just saying, when he starts, he's going at it with Josh Allen in Buffalo today. Adam Schefter is in the Domino's pregame headquarters. Shefty.
Well, Greeny, last week the big question was whether or not Joe Burrow should play. This week the question is whether or not Jaden Daniels should play. He hasn't played since November 2nd. He missed the last 4 games with a dislocated elbow on a team that is not going to the playoffs. And yet Jaden Daniels will be back behind center today against an aggressive, tough Vikings defense in Minnesota that's going to be blitzing him like crazy. Daniels back in the lineup for the first time in 4 games. Meanwhile, Sean McVay had to fly separate to Arizona from the whole team because he caught a virus that was going through his house. One Rams staffer said they had to fly him that way because he was grumpy for the way that the Rams played last week against Carolina, and they didn't want him around anybody. But the truth is they didn't want to expose everybody to what Sean McVay was dealing with this week. He still is expected to be out there on the sideline coaching the Rams against the Cardinals today. But Roma Odunze will not be out there. He's dealing with a foot injury that right now is leaving him week to week. That means they're going to have to rely on their other players like DJ Moore, Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, while Rome Odunze sits out at this time. And while the Bears lose Rome Odunze, the Packers are getting back Jaden Reed. They activated him off IR yesterday. He is expected to play. That's a boost for the Packers offense.
That's a critical game in the NFC North, a division that did see the Lions play on Thursday night. Before we continue to look forward, let's